In this video, I'm going to review the Civivi Baby Banter with Green Micarta scales and the Stonewashed Nitro-V blade. On top of that, I'll also compare it to other popular knives from the same category and explain why the Baby Banter is one of the best subcompact everyday carry knives out there. Hey guys, welcome to Salvo EDC. I just finished adding this mini ghost bead to my Baby Banter and I thought why not make a review if it was already in my hand. So here we are. I really like and enjoy this knife, that's why I decided to give it some wellness and dress it up. In terms of shape and size, the Banter reminds me of my Spyderco Dragonfly, which knife I also keep in my EDC rotation, alongside my MKM Sanzo. Funny how all these three knives share some significant similarities. They have almost exactly the same dimensions, the Banter being a happy medium in terms of weight. Each of them can be called a little big knife, as they come with an oversized finger choil, which gives me a full grip on them despite their small size. And I honestly find all three designs ingenious. However, after long months of testing, the Baby Banter became my favorite for general use. And in this video, I'm going to give you a detailed explanation of why. First of all, it hands down has the best action in this comparison. Its generously sized titanium thumb stud is super comfortable to use and it guarantees a snappy deployment every time I go for it. Usually, I'm not the biggest fan of thumb stud openers because after deployment they usually turn into an obtrusive metal rod that catches into everything and ruins the blade's utility to cut. And I hate it on all my Benchmade knives, for example. To illustrate my problem, I will show you two Benchmade designs, the Tagged Out and the Immunity. If you look at these two thumb studs, you can see that they expand way above the cutting edge. And if you think about it, this particular placement is extra dumb, because this is the part of your blade where you normally cut rope. However, this Civivi thumb stud became very kind to my heart, mostly because the Banter has the already mentioned oversized finger choil, and thanks to this specific design element, the cutting edge starts further from the handles, and this allows the thumb stud to stay behind the actual cutting area, completely out of the way. On top of that, this thumb stud is placed so close to the spine of the blade that it actually works as a thumb rest, which is super comfy since it is a giant round bar of titanium. This ingenious solution opened a new chapter for me when it comes down to thumb studs, especially because this is one of the chubbiest ones I've ever seen. To me, trying this Banter feels like rediscovering an old ice cream flavor that I hated for years, but someone put a fun twist on it and now it has become one of my favorites. This is my story with salty caramel in a nutshell. I just wish the jimping on the blade would also support this idea and reach out a little further. The jimping could easily get away with the double of this slant, and this change would also emphasize this amazing thumb stud even more. It would make much more sense as the Baby Banter is a super small one grip knife, and with that one specific grip, this current jimping is completely out of place for my finger. This was part of the reason why I added this lanyard to my Banter, so this way I can come back a notch, fold my pinky over the paracord and enjoy a new, alternative grip on my tiny knife. And now that we are already at the grip, I have to mention that Green Micarta is one of my favorite handle materials. I love the looks of it and I also love how nice it feels to the touch. The only reason why I wouldn't hype Green Micarta too much, because at the end of the day, it soaks up all kinds of juices, which makes it less practical for dirty jobs. Also, it is less sturdy if I compare it to other epoxy laminates, such as G10 or carbon fiber. Fun fact that the warping issue of this Micarta grip was a huge problem with the prototypes of this pocket knife. This is why my version of the Baby Banter was released months after the G10 model. Eventually, the problem was fixed and these chubby scales are now rock solid. However, the build quality of the Banter is still far from perfect, since this disgusting liner lock looks and feels extremely gimmicky. If you take a close look, you'll see that this liner is not overextending its welcome while interfacing the back of the blade. This is the general reason why I try to stay away from this unsafe locking mechanism as much as possible. The unique design of the Baby Banter somewhat helps with this issue, as in the case of a potential disengage, my hand would be pushed against this oversized finger choil instead of the cutting edge. But I still think about this locking mechanism as an unnecessary evil, and if the reliability of a lock is important to you, I'd much rather recommend something with a backlock, such as a Spyderco Delica or this dragonfly. This limitation of the liner lock makes me disappointed only because it wastes the potential of this amazing knife. Despite its baby size, the Banter could be easily used for grown-up work, mostly because it's very comfy to use and also comes with an amazing blade. When it comes to Civivi, we can usually get Nitro-V, D2 or cheap Mescus. And I'm super happy that the Baby Banter mostly comes with Nitro-V, because this blade steel is actually pretty exciting. Technically, it's the modernized and budget-friendly version of the legendary AEBL, and it's similarly tough and stainless. Maybe the most interesting part about both Nitro-V and AEBL is that they can take and hold extreme blade shapes and grind angles. This is why they are also used in razor blades. Due to their stability, they can many times outperform most edge retaining super steels, even though their edge retention is not the best. As you use your knife, it'll get dull eventually, but the good news is that Nitro-V is pretty easy to sharpen, even without diamond stones. Nitro-V knives are also easy to maintain, as stropping can take you a long way and you don't have to worry about rusting either. I think this steel makes the Baby Banter an amazing gift or an amazing first pocket knife for people who don't really have a knife care routine. If you hand this knife to anybody, they will probably enjoy using it and they will keep it around for a very long time. Most Baby Banter models cost around $60 and they come in a large variety of different colors. For example, I fell in love with this dark grey blade and deep green handle scales. Throughout the years, I've handled many different micarta colors with all kinds of blade finish combinations, and out of everything I had so far, this exact one became my favorite. The heavy stonewash was very well done by Civivi, and on top of the fancy looks, this finish is also super functional as it completely scuffs at light scratches. In the past year, I cut a dumb amount of hard plastic with my Banter, and the blade still looks like new. The etched finish is also perfectly matched by the titanium thumb stud and grayed out hardware, including the pocket clip. And now that I mention it, this kind of a fold-over deep carry pocket clip is hands down my favorite in the entire knife space. It comes with 2 recessed screws, and the clip itself also sinks into the micarta handle. I love how this clip behaves in my pocket, but at the same time it also disappears in my palm as I use the knife. And this is the exact solution that I desperately want to see on all my knives that come with garbage wire clips. This level of thoughtful and minimalistic design truly gives the Baby Banter its own identity. Just look at the presentation side, where you can only see 2 small T8 heads, since the pivot is covered by the Civivi emblem. Plus, every screw shares the same bit size, which is again something that should be an industry standard. And at the end of the day, we got so many cool things that it even made me forget about the gimmicky liner lock. Watching the Baby Banter perform this well truly made me happy, because I'm a huge fan of the designer Ben Peterson. I followed his videos on YouTube since he moved from CRKT to Blade HQ, and every time I see somebody go from zero to hero the same way gives me great motivation. So I can't wait to try more of Ben's future designs. But until that, you should come along and watch my previous video about this MKME Sanzo. Chances are, if you enjoy the Banter, you will also like this one. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because many other reviews are coming soon. Thank you for sticking around all the way, and I'll see you in the next one.